Hi sisters, I'm just going to show you how to sew the mask. So take your fabric and you fold it in half, and we're just going to sew about 1 inch or 2 up the side. Your seams can be about 5/8 of an inch or 1/2 inch wide, and you're just going to sew about 2 inches. Make sure you back stitch, and I don't even cut my threads, I just pull it all the way down to the other side and stitch. So if you can see that, it's pulled together just because my threads are there, but you sew a little bit on that side, a little bit on that side, and now I'll clip my threads. So you just clip it open, clip all those threads off. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna press it open. So you're gonna fold it kind of in half, so your seam is in the center, and you're gonna press your seams open, just so it's like this on the inside, okay? I'm just gonna pause it and then I'll be right back. My seam's open, it's in the center. You don't have to press the edges, but as you can see, there's a little flap on the inside. That's what you want. You wanna have a little hole. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna top stitch about a presser foot length away from the edge. So I'm just gonna run my presser foot all the way up one side. I just leave my needle in the corner. I pivot, I do about 3 stitches across, and then all the way down. So that's what we're doing next. And you have to just make sure that your fabric underneath doesn't get caught. So I just kind of fold it up. There's like the little hole there. You're just pressing the edges, your seams down, so that they're somewhat finished, but not in the way. Okay, so this is where I'm going to pick up my foot and just pivot 3 stitches and pivot again. Doesn't have to be exact. That looks like a bunched up mess, but essentially you're just stitching all the way around that opening that you just made. And my machine sounds very squeaky, but I promise you it's always sounded that way, even after I get it back from getting it serviced. So I just say it has birds in it. Okay, so I have stitched, hopefully you can see that, I've stitched all the way around. My opening is still good. I have the openings on the side. So my next step is to put the elastic in, and that's gonna go on each side. So I'm not sure how they're giving you the elastic, but you take 2 elastics. If they aren't cut in half, you just snip it and snip it. And I cut it where it's been joined. So there's your elastic. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your piece of fabric and you're gonna put it on the inside. So I don't know if you can see that, it's going on the inside. And I just hold it in place. You want it right in the edge, right up here in the corner. I hold one side in and just make sure you don't sew over top of the other edge. Make sure you back stitch on that end so it secures it in place. And you're gonna sew the seam all the way down. And I just kind of hold on to this the other side of the elastic as I'm sewing. And I just hold it in place with my fingers, and you go all the way down the edge. So it kind of gets a little wrinkly, but as you can see, I have an elastic in here, an elastic down here. That's my seam, okay? So you're gonna do that to the other side as well. Same thing. So got both sides sewn. Your elastics are on the inside. So what you're gonna do, I don't even clip my threads. You can if you want, but I usually just leave them in there because they're not gonna hurt anyone. You just, from the opening, flip it around. So you now have your square with your opening, and you're gonna wanna press it right now. So I'm gonna go over to my iron and I'm gonna press it. You wanna press just all your seams flat so that everything's nice and flat. Okay, so I've got my mask pressed nice and flat. So what you wanna do now is you wanna fold your seams. So this is the inside, because here's my little flap, my little pocket. So I'm gonna turn it to the right side, to the side that's gonna face out. And what I do is I just make 3 pleats. And you can get exact and measure them if you want, but I just kind of eyeball it. So I usually I pin these ones. And I'm doing this backwards, so bear with me if I get this. There we go. All right, there's pleat number 2. And pleat number 3. And you're just gonna do that to both sides. Okay, so that's one side. You got your pleats. I will do the other side and then I'll show you how to sew it. I've got it pinned, as you can see. Got stuff in my way, let me move that for you. All right, got it pinned. What I'm gonna do now is I start at the bottom and I sew all the way up, pivot, and then sew down, just so that there's 2 layers of sewing, just to make it a little more enforced. And I'll do the same on the other side, all the way up, pivot, and all the way down. So let's see if you can see that. Pivot, do a few stitches, and then go back down the way I came. Okay, so I'll take my pins out. It's probably bad that I sewed with pins in, but you can see went all the way up, all the way down. I'm going to do that on the other side, and then I'll show you the last little bit, and then you're done. So I have sewed both sides, and then I take an iron and just press the pleats into it. You can clip your threads on both sides. And our last bit that we have to do is the bit for the nose piece for the wire to go in. So I don't know if you can see, but I've marked in the center 2-inch spots. So I marked the center and then I measured 1 inch on each side. That's going to show me where to start and stop my stitching for the wire. So what you want to do is you want to do a stitch all the way from line to line, just 1 single straight stitch, so that it's open on both sides. I usually sew mine about 5/8 of an inch to 1/2 inch wide. So I just measure it up, start it where my line starts. So if you can see that, I've got my little stitch in there. I will clip my threads, and then you insert the pipe cleaner in there, and then you're done.